This episode is sponsored by Where to Shop and Dine. Download the app on Google Play Store or Apple App Store today. Connecting colleges and communities. Welcome back. You're watching Scene TV, and I'm Maya McNulty, your host, Schenectady Cable Entertainment News and Events. What a pleasure to have my good friend, Ange Morris. Welcome back to the studio.
Thank you, Maya.
Yes, it's so good to see
me.
you. Yes,
so
yes,
good to
always,
see you.
always. You're doing so much in Schenectady,
Thank
and
you.
I wanted to have you back on the show to talk about the street dedication for Martin Luther King, and also we have the 34th annual Human Rights Award banquet breakfast coming up. So I want to talk about that as well.
Sure.
So let's dive in. Let's get a little conversation going. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and the role that you're playing with Schenectady Human Rights.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me back.
Yeah.
I was here in January promoting our 30th anniversary celebration for our Martin Luther King Coalition. And now I'm back to talk about the climax of our celebration service, and that's the MLK street dedication ceremony. But I've been with the organization for 11 years. I'm the executive director, been an executive director now for going on 4.5, 5 years. Prior to that, I worked here in Schenectady community with the former Mayor Stratton in his office, and so I'm very familiar with the community. Been working in this community for the last 17 years, and then went on to work for the governor, Spitzer, Patterson, and Cuomo, and I just love doing what I do. I went to school to Hudson Valley and New Albany for political science, public policy. And so that's where my background is, in government and politics and legislation. But I'm in a different role. My job is to make sure that everybody's rights are protected and respected here in Schenectady County and also within the region, and making sure working with our school districts in the county, working with our nonprofit organizations, working with our school systems, universities, SCCC, Union College, and those other organizations that are very vital to make our community safe and better, and those are the law enforcement community, the anti-poverty, anti-homeless communities, and everybody. So my job is to support, collaborate, and partner, and also to go to events and support everybody's missions and making sure that we are talking about the issues that's impacting and affecting our community. So that's very brief. I could go on long with what I do and my background, but we are here to talk about Dr. King's legacy and dream, and the reason why we as a Martin Luther King Coalition has been existing for 30 years in Schenectady County is we have been doing the advancing and the teachings and the principles of Dr. King for the last 30 years, making sure that Schenectady County and the community continues that legacy of his dream, and making sure the issues he talked about, such as poverty, housing, economic justice, social justice, women's rights, quality education for our kids, and for all of us, making sure there's fairness, equity, equality, no discrimination amongst our religion and also our sexual orientations and our age. Those are the issues he talked about.
Sure.
And so on April 11th, the Martin Luther King Coalition will be dedicating ceremonially lower portions of Albany Street from Veeder Avenue to Brandywine, Martin Luther King Jr. Way. And this came about a year ago. As executive director, I do a lot of independent research. I do a lot of strategy sessions with me, making sure that our community reflects the our representation. And so looking back, I did some research on Dr. King streets, and I travel a lot. Personally, I have family all over the state. So I was going back and forth throughout the state, and I noticed that each city that I went to had a Dr. King street, a road, a park, numerous areas. And so I noticed also that Schenectady, which is an urban city, more than 60,000, 40% of the population is people of color, 72% plus of the school district are kids of color. We have a very diverse population, not only ethnicity, but also with background and other diversity. Dr. King lives here in Schenectady, and we don't have a street named after him. We are the only city in the capital region, the metropolitan area, Albany, Troy, and Albany, that doesn't have a permanent designated street. So I brought that idea and those findings to the coalition, and the coalition thought it would be a fitting tribute during our 30th anniversary to name ceremonially a street after him. And so we did the research, we looked, and we decided to name the street in the areas of the teachings and the principles that he taught upon, the initiatives, economic justice, social justice, education, and definitely in the areas where are underserved. And also he talked about affordable housing. And we looked, Albany Street is under rebirth now.
Yes.
It's developing with affordable housing, social justice, economic justice, social services, but it's in a community, mainly people of color, that needs some pride back to it, needs someone in an organization such as ours to say, we know what you're going through, we understand, and we're going to bring pride back to your community. And how we're going to do that is Dr. King is going to be part of this community. Every day we will see Dr. King. We will see his legacy of economic justice, social justice. We have the SICM. We have SICM there, we have SCAP, we have the business incubator there, we have the affordable housing with the Joe Allen apartments that are being built, and that whole corridor is a rebirth. And so we decided to name that corridor of the Hamilton Hill Vale neighborhood, which in the 12307 mainly is people of color, low economic opportunities, giving people some pride back. And so we thought it would be a fitting tribute, because those were the initiatives of Dr. King. Dr. King was not just this guy who always talked about love and unity, but he also was a very controversial person. He also held everyone responsible and accountable for their actions, but also made sure that the people who needed the help got the help. And so that is why we are going to commemorate his legacy and also celebrate this historic event of Dr. King.
I love your passion for this. It is on April 11th. It's
April 11th.
Yeah, at 11 o'clock, and it's on the corner of Veeder and Albany Street. And, you know, one of the things that you were talking about of that neighborhood as well, I have ties with the Schenectady Boys and Girls Club and also Girls Inc.
Yes.
And they happen to be right in parallel of that whole coalition and street dedication. And how brilliant for those kids and to see someone that they admire and someone that has fought for the equality and their rights, to empower them and to be dedicated.
And that's what it's all about. When I did the research and I presented it to the coalition and we came together and we decided to do this as a unified body, as a unified coalition, to involve the community, to involve the elected officials in Schenectady.
And you have the youth right there as well.
We wanted to say that this is not about us, it's not about me, but it is for a legacy for our kids to remember the dream of Dr. King and the legacy. If it wasn't for Dr. King, none of us will be here in our positions in our society today. He put his life on the line. He died to make sure that this not only community, but this country and this world would reflect his passion, his dream. And that's what we are doing. It's about the kids. It's about leaving legacy. And any time you do something in life, it should be about legacy. It should be about empowering, inspiring, and embracing the struggle, going through the struggle, learning from the struggle, and bringing people with you in the struggle, and making sure that they have opportunities that you had and you bring them along. That's we as a coalition, and that's what me as an executive director working with everybody in the county is doing. And we want to make sure that this community in this capital region is part of the celebration, where if they feel that they don't have any hope, we want to bring hope to them. If they don't feel that their needs are being met, we want to say, come along with us. We want to help you get to where you want to go in life. And we want to be the change that we want our community to become. So in order to not be a problem to a problem, we want to be the solution. Yeah. But it takes all of us as a community to make a community better. If we operate in a silo, things don't work. But if we operate as a team and as a community, that's why it's called community. We're communing together. We're communicating the issues and the things that make us one and make us together and make us as a human race. We all have differences, but as a race and our creeds, that brings us together as one body and as one community. And that's what Dr. King was all about.
Yeah. And so again, what was the date on that event?
April 11th.
And is it open to the community?
It's open to the community. It's open to the capital region. Even though it's here in Schenectady, it's a capital region thing. Mm-hmm. We as a coalition and Human Rights Commission, we are in Schenectady County, but we have to tear down the invisible barriers between Schenectady, Albany, Troy, Albany. There shouldn't be any barriers. Mm-hmm. We all have the same issues in our own individual communities, and it's impacting and affecting us on a regular basis. But we must come together as a region and celebrate each other, celebrate our differences, but also work together and reach across the aisles, reach across the bridges, and bring each other together and focus on the main goal at task, and that's make a difference in your community, wherever you are. Just make a difference.
Yeah,
and this should make a difference.
So moving. It's exciting. I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to talk about the Martin Luther King Jr. Coalition and the street dedication.
Yes.
I know that you're going to be celebrating your 34th year as Schenectady Human Rights Commission. Can you speak on that and what it is so we can bring the audience up to date and some knowledge about what you're doing? Sure.
So before I talk about the breakfast, the celebration service for the ceremony will be at the Sikkim Food Pantry at 839 Albany Street in Schenectady, right there in the hub of Hamilton Hill and in the middle of Albany Street. And we will be there at 11 o'clock. So we invite everybody to come and celebrate with us. Our 34th anniversary for our awards breakfast is on May 25th at 7 a.m. at the Glenn Sanders. And we've been doing this for exactly 34 years. And we recognize individuals, groups, youth, and people who serve in the justice field who contributes to Schenectady County, outstanding residents in the areas of human rights, social justice. Whatever you do in your community, it's all about service. Mm-hmm. And so we just want to recognize those folks who's not getting the appreciation or is getting the exposure of the great, exceptional work that they're doing, boots on the ground, doing things privately without no accolades or titles, or who doesn't even win awards and they should be recognized. We as an organization want to do that. And so that's what we do, that's what we've been doing, and that's what we're going to be doing on May 25th, is recognize people who does great service to the community in Schenectady County. And at 7 in the morning, we have 300 people. It's a sold out breakfast. And we recognize the folks. I call it a Schenectady County Oscars. People that are nominated, they come, and we don't share the awardees until the day of. We have a lot of representation from the community. Our local, state elected officials are there. Our school districts are represented. Our law enforcement is there. Everybody comes together. And again, this is another community event where people come together and celebrate their accomplishments and their achievements within the areas of human rights, social justice, and all those issues that we talk about: women's rights, civil rights, education, LGBT issues, housing. People are nominated within those fields. Whatever work you do in your community, please have someone nominate you, because we will recognize you for your great outstanding work that you're doing in the community when no one looks at you. But we are saying thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How can someone get an application or
Sure.
find out information on nominating someone and even attending the breakfast?
Yeah. So the information will be, or it should be, on our website, or they could contact me right at my office, 377-3823. Tickets are $25 at the door prior. Our tickets are $22. Our nomination forms also is on the website, but they also contact me at my office. And you can nominate as many people within each category that you would like. And again, we want to recognize people who's not being recognized for their great service and dedication to their community.
Okay. And is it SchenectadyCounty.com, the website?
Right.
SchenectadyCounty.com.
SchenectadyCounty.com, and then just look human rights, and then the information should be there. But yeah, we've been doing this for 34 years. This year, we're looking for our numbers to, every year we go higher and higher. So we sell out all the time, and it's a great event. It's 7 in the morning, it's early, but we get out in time where people has enough time to get to work on time, and we just recognize those folks. It's a great celebration, and Angela Mazzone, who is a great partner and supporter of ours, we've been doing it for 34 years there, and so it's just a wonderful event to kick off the summer and also Memorial Day weekend. That Friday, that Thursday before, and you have a nice weekend to relax and make sure that you have a great end of spring going into the summer. So
yeah. So again, that's Thursday, May 25th. It's from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the Glenn Sanders Mansion. It's 1 Glen Ave in Scotia, the Glenn Sanders Mansion, and it is the 34th Annual Human Rights Award Breakfast.
Yes.
And you can nominate someone. Go to SchenectadyCounty.com on the human rights icon, and they can learn a little bit more, or you can call Angie.
Or you could just call me, and I
Yeah.
could get you that information.
Yeah, tickets are $22 in advance and $25 at the door. And you expect about 300 people there.
We always have around 300. There was it was a couple years ago that we just couldn't hold any more folks, and we didn't have to turn any folks away, but we made accommodations.
Yeah,
So
super. So tell us about what is happening at the Schenectady Human Rights Commission and changes that are happening, because you've worked on so many brilliant projects. How are these, is there progress happening?
there's a lot of progress that's happening. The Human Rights Commission, we are at our all-time high in years, working, engaging, and making sure the community is addressing issues. And how we go about that is collaborating, partnering in our annual events, and also our community forums that we have that the community wants us to address. So within the last year or so, definitely the beginning of this year, with our anniversary celebration, we had our education forum that talked about what would Dr. King say and do about our educational system in Schenectady County, but also in America. We had about 120 people there. The Martin King Coalition, we've been partnering, collaborating with other organizations throughout the county and throughout the region. Our street dedication ceremony is going to be coming up. Then also on tomorrow, the 6th, we are having an interfaith community service with one of our clergy groups, which is called the Schenectady Clergy Against Hate. And what we are co-sponsoring that is talking about his speech called A Time to Break the Silence. And that speech was a groundbreaking speech before his death, to his assassination. And that was basically, he was talking about getting rid of the ideas of racism, bigotry, just kind of paraphrasing. And so we're going to be on Thursday at 7 o'clock at the Unitarian Universal Society of Schenectady at 1221 Wendell Avenue, commemorating that speech, but also it's going to be prior to celebrating this street dedication on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So those are the things that we're doing. April 20th, we are having another community forum with one of our coalition members, but also Mount Olivet Baptist Church. Reverend Sanders is part of our coalition. And so we're doing a community forum joint with him. And Schenectady County Embraces Diversity, talking about another important issue, community policing. So we're going to be talking about how do you know your rights regarding police, and mainly it's about the youth. We want to educate and inform and make the community, the youth, aware of how to engage and interact with police. And it's just a proactive conversation measures. There's nothing going on in Schenectady County or the city of Schenectady police departments where they're doing things that we don't know about, or definitely I don't know about. And I'm on conversations with the police chief and the police command all the time. This is a proactive, just want to make sure for your viewers, it's a proactive conversation, teaching people, educating them, making them aware of the rights when they interact with the police, if they get stopped, pulled over. So that's a conversation we're going to be having April 20th. And then we're also in the process for May, besides the breakfast, we're going to do a part 2 to our educational forum. And we're going to be talking about the education issue, but we're mainly going to be informing parents. We're going to get parents involved.
Yeah, that's an important part.
We're going to get parents involved. We're going to talk about how parents can get engaged, also informing parents of what they should be doing and engaging with their kids' education. And then also talking about important issues of how we can help the school districts improve in areas that they need to improve in. Because that's what we're all about. We as a Human Rights Commission, we're all about engaging, informing and making people aware of the issues, but we're also there to be a help and an ally to organizations and to companies and also school districts to help them move forward and improve in areas that they need to improve in as an ally. So we're talking about that sometime in May. Right now we're looking at the calendar, we're looking at things, but that's going to be a community forum in May. Then the end of May is our breakfast, and then June, who knows, but our community forums are at the request of the community. So the May forum is what people want to hear about, and so that's what we do. So I'm busy ever since the presidential election has came and our current president has been talking about groups and issues that people are really frightened and threatened about, and feel that they are being attacked. I've been all over the county informing, educating people aware of their rights, going and talking about the issues of human rights, social justice, getting involved with your community, with your school boards, making sure that you have a place at the table or in your community that you can talk about. If you have an advocacy issue, you need to talk about that, get involved. Don't sit on the sidelines and complain. You be about the change. And also working with the Martin Luther King Coalition and my board in the commission to make sure Schenectady County is embracing diversity, inclusion, and making sure this community is safe, protected, and we are able to raise our kids, and making sure our kids are being accountable and responsible for their actions, and that they can't have this entitlement issue or attitude that everything has to be given to them, but they must have to work hard and do their responsibility and be accountable for their actions, because every choice you make, good or bad, there are consequences.
Absolutely. So you are so passionate about your work and the work that you're doing at the Schenectady Human Rights. How many years experience have you had working with them? Because it seems like you've been doing this forever. It's 11 years right now. I was appointed one of the youngest commissioners when I started, and I was 26. I was 26, and I worked diligently, but my success in this position and with this organization is surrounding myself with wisdom, surrounding myself with people that showed me the way of mentorship. And so that's what I did. There was a lot of things I did not like. Corrective criticism is good, but in order for you to succeed in life, you must have wisdom. You must follow those who was in your footsteps, and you must have humility. And that's what I learned, and that's where I am today. I wasn't very humbled. There was a lot of issues that I had. The work you do is very humbling, though.
I had to
come over that. Yeah.
I had to lose the selfishness. I had to lose the ego.
I can understand that.
And now I'm humbled. I had to go through situations that knocked the humility, that knocked the pride right out of me. And sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And if people's telling you to go left and you go right and you don't listen, what happens? You end up in a ditch. I end up in a lot of ditches along the way. But I learned to walk in the spirit of humility, character, and integrity with excellence. And that's where I'm at right now. When I was young, when I came on the board, I was engaged, but there was those around me, such as Reverend Frazier, such as Brian Wright, the Randy Magoo, the Reverend Sanders, the Kareem Medina Sands, the Joe Allen, the former Joe Allen. Those folks I surrounded myself with, and my former boss, Mayor Stratton. He taught me so much about how to be a public servant when I was in his office, that now, and I pay tribute to him and and Sharon Jordan, who is one of my closest mentors, of how to function in a capacity of public service, of working with people, different people. And the mayor's office, actually, I got my start from them, and I pay them tribute for their work because they did everything in humility. They didn't look for big accolades, they just did the work. And so I took what I've learned, job from job, experience from experience, and applied it to where I'm at now. The good, the bad, and indifferent. So as I share with young people and those who wants to do the work in Schenectady or do work in the community, the first thing I tell them is you can't have an ego, and you gotta do it with self-interest, meaning unpure motives. Everything you do in the community should be genuine. If you're not doing it being sincere, people feel that, people know that, and you will not get an award. You could get titles, and I tell people, I don't get a lot of awards. I don't go to a lot of ceremonies and I'm getting awarded for this, awarded for that. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm making a difference in someone's life. I deal with a lot of issues. People's being evicted, they call me. Families are being broken up because domestic violence. I get calls all the time where I'm crying, they're crying, and I don't get a title. I don't get banners. I'm not being part of a group where, you get plaques. I don't have a lot of plaques on my wall. Plaques on the wall doesn't change lives. It's just wasted space on the wall that's getting dust. But one thing that I love my job is I'm making a difference every day in someone's life behind closed doors.
And you're respected. Highly respected.
Thank you.
And what a tremendous work you're doing, and we're so grateful. And me, as your friend, I am so happy that our paths have crossed, and we're forever friends. And I'm always so proud of you, and always so excited to have you on Scene TV.
Thank you.
And everything else that we do outside of our personal lives as well.
Thank you.
So it means a lot to me, and you're doing a tremendous job.
Thank you, and it's a very humbling experience to be in this position. As I've been working in public service since I graduated from college, and this position is a very humbling position that I can go out and be a blessing to people and help people who are hurting and helping others help themselves. But also, there's a lot of things that I don't say that I get accused for, and I get yelled at and screamed. It's just those stories. But as the saying goes, I take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah.
I don't let people get to me. I learned in life that you can't take things personally, because hurting people hurt others. And so while the people are hurting, you're just in the way of their hurt. So they're gonna lash out on you because they're angry, they're upset. People have to put you down because they don't like who they are. I had to learn that. So I don't take anything personally. The only thing that I do take personally is that if I'm not pleasing God in my position and making people happy, then I have to see what's within me. Am I happy? What's going on with me? Mm-hmm. Because every day I deal with people. And if I'm not in a position where I'm dealing with someone in a respectable, loving way, I got to look at myself. And those are the things we must learn, is if you're not happy, other people can make you happy. Happiness starts within. And so everything that we do in our jobs, must start with us looking at how we can be a blessing or being a help to somebody and making a difference.
Yeah, and I want to thank you so much for being on Scene TV. Those are some great wisdom of nuggets, and I'm going to take them away as well. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Maya.
It's great to be here.
Thanks.